The brand new 58-foot luxury yacht Trashman surges through the Atlantic. Her owner made his millions in the rubbish business, and a hastily assembled crew who've never sailed together before are delivering the yacht to his home in Florida. The 6-day voyage begins in Bar Harbor, Maine. The crew will sail 1,300 miles down the eastern seaboard of the United States to Fort Lauderdale. The most experienced sailor is Deborah Scaling Kiley. She's the first American woman to have completed the grueling Whitbread Around the World race. Debbie has been hired for the run by the yacht's skipper, John Lippoff.
He was sort of that scraggly sailor look.
He's running nicely now. Head back inland, hire some more crew, yeah?
The first thing that I noticed about him
Cheers.
that I thought was kind of wild was that he liked to celebrate everything. He wanted to have a beer the minute I met him.
Problemo, Debs. Problemo.
He showed me his resume, and it was quite impressive. He had actually been on a boat called Black Knight, which was the committee boat for the America's Cup. And you know, to be the skipper of that boat, you can't be all bad. You got to be a pretty good boatman.
Is everything all right?
John's brought along his girlfriend, Meg Mooney. She's no sailor, just along for the ride and looking forward to parties, calm waters, and sunshine. The first day is an easy sail. By nightfall, they're right on schedule.
Debbie! Wake up! Debbie!
That was 4 hours.
It's blowing a gale out there. Meg's falling. She's hurt, and we're taking on water.
John!
She's hurt real bad. Can you come take a look at her?
Where the hell did this storm come from?
I couldn't believe the conditions had deteriorated so much. Surfing down those waves, it was like a roller coaster. And it's like an elevator when it drops.
This is why I got into sailing, Brad.
Well, my mother sailed through a hurricane when I was in her belly, but I can honestly say that this kind of weather is not in my blood.
Mark's up on deck just woo, howling at the wind, and obviously he's been drinking.
Come on! Better help her. She fell on her back.
Well, I'll take a look.
Debbie, leave it. Just help her, okay?
But John...
Debbie, for once, would you just do what I say?
She rolled over slightly, and you could see the bruising begin, and it was all through the kidney area. I could just tell she was in so much pain.
I want to go home, John. Take me home.
Okay, Ellie. I'll get some help.
John discovered that he didn't have any charts to take him into this part of the coast.
It was just one more little omen that things weren't great. It was that he wasn't prepared.
This is sailing vessel Trashman calling Coast Guard. We urgently need a compass heading so we can head inshore. We have no chart. Over.
Brad and I went up on deck to take our next watch, and it was wildly out of control. The winds were gusting 50 miles per hour, and Mark's up on deck, and he is just wild.
Are you out of your mind? We're in a gale and you're hammered! You're a bigger idiot than I thought!
Still floating, is it safe?
Roger that. 2 ships, Exxon, Huntington, and Gypsum King. 4 hours away.
Since the 2 merchant vessels are the closest ships to the Trashman, the Coast Guard requests that they head towards the yacht to assist. Help is at last on its way.
It gave us this false sense of security, and I think that's probably the kiss of death.
They will rendezvous. Roger that. Over. Come in, please, Coast Guard. This is Trashman. Are you still there? Over. Anybody there? Anybody there? Over. Anybody? Anybody?
One of these times we got to the top of one of these waves and it crested and broke, like at the beach, like Hawaii 5-0. And the boat fell off the top. You know, we were in free fall. And then we impacted against the window. And the window just smashed out, and the water just poured in.
Jimmy! Jimmy! We gotta get out of here. Go, let's get out of here! Go!
Here's the boat sinking, and we're scrambling to get to the deck, and I hear John over here going,
Mayday! Anybody! Mayday! Mayday! We're sinking! We're sinking! We're sunk! Anybody!
and I get up on that deck, and it was just like a slow motion drink. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just gray, and it was crazy, and it was tumultuous. And I look around, and there is nothing. And we're going down, and we're going down fast. You don't think about dying. You don't think about drowning. You don't think about anything. You think about getting away from this boat that it's going under, and it's sinking in less than 2 minutes. It's just going down like a big rock.
Mark frantically struggles to undo the pressurized canister holding the life raft and survival gear. Brad heads for the only other option, a tiny, inflatable dinghy.
But I swam after the dinghy, kicking off my sea boots and my foul weather bottoms, thinking, my dad's gonna kill me. I've just let his boots sink. And then thoughts of my mother and how horrified she was gonna be, and how sad that when she learned that I had died there in the ocean.
The canister inflates, and he's still holding on, and eventually he just lets go. The life raft is blown away, and we weren't going to find it in the middle of the night.
You managed to get anything from the yacht?
Nothing!
We're dead!
Where's Meg?
Get away from the yacht!
Jimmy! Be careful!
Hey! You gotta keep your head up, okay? Now!
We're all gathered around the rubber Zodiac dinghy, and I remember watching Trash Man as the last little foot of her mast slipped under the water, and it was the most devastatingly lonely feeling that I've ever felt in my life.
The trash man went down in less than a minute.
We're all gonna die!
By not contacting the Coast Guard. You know, we were now half an hour late for our radio call. They should have been on the way. The cavalry rushing in. All we needed to do was stay afloat, and they'd find us.
Let's get under the dinghy! There's a shelter! I can't!
No!
I can't!
We'll be out of the wind!
Rather than flip the dinghy over, the crew get underneath it, where they'll be sheltered from the bitterly cold wind and rapid hypothermia.
Come on! Check on you!
The sad thing is that Meg just couldn't participate. I think it was too painful for her, but more than anything, Meg was very claustrophobic.
Okay, we gotta get out of the water. It's cooling us down!
Give me a minute. Lie down next to me. You two, lie on top of us.
By stacking ourselves like a bunch of fuel rods at a nuclear power plant or a bunch of logs in a fire, we were able to share our body heat and to keep ourselves warm.
As the storm raged on, you could crawl up underneath the dinghy like that, and it was so quiet and so peaceful. It was so deceptive. It was almost luring you once again into that amniotic state. I was horrified at her wounds. The wire in the rigging had cut almost all the way to the bone, and she had huge gaping wounds on her legs. It was heartbreaking. Just those wounds alone were a death sentence.
It's too bloody cold out here. Let's turn it back over. We're gonna freeze to death. Look, man, you want to go back in the water, help yourself. There's a whole ocean out there.
We hung there for a minute, and pretty soon he goes, "Quit kicking me."
I'm not touching you!
You did it again. Cut it out.
What are you talking about? I'm not kicking you!
Stop now.
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to look in the water, and I'm going to see where his legs are, and I'm going to stay as far away from him as I can. And it was the most eerie sensation. And I noticed these like torpedo-shaped bodies, and I thought, fish. And then all of a sudden one came really close, and I realized it was like hundreds of sharks. They were everywhere.
Every shark in the ocean!
I've never seen so many sharks in my life, not in my entire trip around the world. It was the most frightening feeling I've ever felt. To this day, I don't know why the sharks didn't attack us that night, with all of us treading water, with Meg's legs bleeding.
Mark, I'm warning you! Do not hit a single shark with that! Are you out of your mind? What do you think's what? You're gonna calm them down? Give me that!
So what we had to do is devise a system to try to slow the little rubber Zodiac down.
Hey, Debbie, do you think maybe we can make a sea anchor out of this thing? Stabilize this tub?
But as soon as we threw the piece of plywood over the front of the boat, the shark swam up and grabbed it in its mouth.
These were not little sharks. And this one was big enough to pull a 13-foot rubber Zodiac dinghy with 5 people in it, which is at least, 700 pounds, wildly through the water.
By nightfall, the storms died down, but the sharks are still out there. The crew's hungry and thirsty, and the night air begins to freeze their wet bodies. Day 3, and the crew of the Trashman are still adrift in the Atlantic, suffering from dehydration, infection, and the fear that they'll never be found.
Well, we were starting to get very frustrated with the Coast Guard because without food and water, we were really starting to suffer.
Hey, do you think a ship will rescue us before the Coast Guard finds us?
Coast Guard's on its way.
Yeah, sure, of course. Coast Guard's on...
Hey, guys, I got news for you. The Coast Guard ain't coming. They never were. They forgot about us. We're on our own.
Thanks a lot, Debbie.
It was as if I had dropped the final curtain on the show. They just all kind of sat back and looked at me like I'd lost my mind.
Hey, Brad, where do you think we are?
Well, from roughly where we went down, we're anywhere between 35 and 135 miles off the coast.
What? Is that far? We could still be blown to shore, right? Guys?
My God.
The crew have no idea where they are, but the dinghy's now 140 miles from shore and heading out into the Atlantic. The dynamics of the group begin to change, and partnerships form as the survival instinct starts to take hold.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
I'm so sorry I got you into this. If I didn't have you, if it was just me and those guys, I don't know.
We just need to stick together. You and me.
The bottom of the boat was fetid. It had a mixture of urine and blood and pus.
We were in absolute agony because we were starting to get massive staph infections all over our bodies.
These staphylococcal infections are caused by bacteria entering cuts in the skin. They can soon attack the heart and lungs, and Meg is at particular risk because of her open wound.
I felt so bad. She was dying of blood poisoning, and we were sitting there watching Meg die. It was just tragic.
Night 3, with all the infection coming on, and the starvation setting in, we all were getting very delirious.
What are you doing? That stuff will kill you.
Here, Miss Whitgrant. Help yourself.
Everyone knows that you're not supposed to drink seawater. They tell us that from the time we're little kids, and that's one of the things you just don't do.
Drinking salt water dehydrates your body even more, and it causes kidneys to shut down, and you begin to have delusions. And ultimately, if you drink salt water, it will kill you if you don't kill yourself first from the delusions. I didn't really know how long it would be before we saw the effects of the salt water, but it stood to reason to me that it would be probably, 7 hours or so. And I was right. It didn't take all that long.
It's too hot. Hey, everybody! Come here. Come to Johnny. Where's everybody?
It was just like I was watching some crazy play.
I want my bags! Wait. I see land. I see land! I see land!
It's right there, man. You see it? It's right there in front of us. We're just off Falmouth, Meg. We'll go to the hospital where my mom works. She'll take care of us.
We're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We're nowhere near Falmouth.
That's total crap, man!
It's over there.
There it is. I see it.
I'm just gonna get the car.
And then all of a sudden, he jumps off the side of the boat.
John.
And we're like, where the are you going? There is no land, there is no Falmouth, and there are a lot of sharks out there. You need to come back.
Get back in the boat, John. John, go back in the boat. Get back in the boat, John. He's coming back. Brad, do something.
I can't. I don't have the energy, Debbie. Look how far away he is.
I can't see him.
All of a sudden, we just hear this shrill scream. I mean, blood curdling. And it was over. And then silence. And it was like there was no crying. There was no nothing. Meg just said,
He's gone.
there wasn't any doubt what had happened to him. The sharks got him. The sharks never left.
The 4 remaining survivors of the Trashman cling to life as they drift helplessly in the Atlantic. The sharks have just claimed their first victim, John, the captain.
Hey, gorgeous. I know how to make you feel better. Take your mind off John. Promise.
He says, hey, lady, I think it's about time you and me had sex. And that just, like, hit me over the head with a 2x4, and I woke up Brad, and Brad.
We've got to stop this.
Hey, let's just see how she deals with it.
Right. I'm tired of playing games. I'm just going back to the 7-Eleven to get some more beer and cigarettes.
Mark, you're not going to the 7-Eleven for anything. You know we're in this dinghy, don't you?
I'm just going over for a minute. Just to stretch my legs. And get rid of the cramps. Just for a moment.
Brad and I get up and go, man, the sharks just ate John.
No. I'm just stretching my legs. I'm getting right back in.
And just about that time, we feel this bam. And then we feel a bam again. And all of a sudden we realize there's like this frenzied attack, and the sharks are eating Mark underneath the Zodiac.
Poor sharks.
It was, without a doubt, the most horrifying moment of my entire life.
The sharks now had a taste of what they'd been following for days, and they wanted more. So they tried to tip the boat over with Meg, Debbie, and I in the raft.
And it lasted for what seemed like an eternity, like hours. That night, I remember waking up and looking up, and there were stars everywhere. It was like a starry night. And then I began to hear Meg moan in the dinghy.
Yeah. That reminds me of you this much.
What did she say?
I don't know.
And it all of a sudden became very clear to me that Meg was speaking in tongues.
She's dying, isn't she?
She was dying. She was really close to death.
Meg?
When we woke up, Meg was dead in the bottom of the dinghy. All that fetid mixture that was left over from the seaweed and the urine and the pus and...
Debbie. Should we eat her?
We were starving, and you've heard of cannibalism at sea, and are we gonna, nourish ourselves by somehow figuring it out how to butcher her and eat her, or what are we going to do?
Ugh. She's too infected, Brad. We have to get rid of her.
I'm so hungry. My stomach's twisting in pain. You're right.
And so we decided that we would take off her shirt and all of her jewelry so that we could give those to her family. I got really mad at Brad because he was like, I can't get the ring off. I'm like, get it off. It's not like you're gonna hurt her. Just take it off and get it off. It was such a sad moment because we laid her body, naked body, on the side of the raft, and then we decided that we couldn't just push her over, that we had to give some kind of a funeral. And so we said the Lord's Prayer and Psalm 23, and then we just gently pushed her body overboard. And we decided then that we would just go back to sleep so that if the sharks attacked her, we wouldn't have to see it. And so that's what we did. We were each at one end or the other of the raft. He wouldn't talk to me. He was so off at me.
Bitch.
I'm so sorry, Brad.
I just want to relax because of all this death that's been happening for the past 12, 15 hours. And as soon as I take a break, I look at the horizon, and there's a ship coming straight at us.
Debbie.
I'm gonna make it up to you. Let's catch fish. We're going to survive.
Debbie! There's your ship.
I had heard it was a ship so many times. I just didn't... big deal. It's a ship. They're not going to see us.
Turn around.
Look how close it is. And I turned around, and it was amazing.
And the ship came by, and it went by, and a guy walked out on the wing bridge and looked down at us, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I waved at him, and he waved at me, and next thing I knew, there wasn't just one person that came out, but there were like 5, 6 people. They were all coming out. They threw all their life-saving equipment out at us, and Debbie jumps off the boat, and I'm like, God damn it. Don't leave your friend Brad here all alone.
What? No goodbyes? Nothing?
I was holding the rope that held the life ring, and they started winching us in.
And then a big sailor picked us both up
And when they finally hand me off to the last guy, he just gently lays me on the deck. And I realized that they were Russian. And I didn't care. I didn't care where I was going. I didn't care who these people were. I was lying there and Brad was there and we were alive.
The San Juan Islands in America's Pacific Northwest. It's a sea kayaking mecca. But every year, these waters claim the life of at least one sea kayaker.
It's 3:45, folks, the end of a beautiful November day. But winter is on its way, so plan your weekend accordingly.
The sea kayaking season is over, but endurance athlete Saul Kinderis wants to conquer the San Juans.
Hey, Larry, it's Saul. Where are you, man? Get here.
Saul and his track teammate from college, Larry Kaiser, are regular weekend warriors, but they've never kayaked together before.
Plan is to hit Strawberry Island, then after that hit Doe Bay, a 60s resort. It's got 2 hot tubs, 1 cold tub, clothing optional, which generally speaking means nobody wears a stitch.
The goal was to head there and take her clothes off and hit on women, basically. I mean, that was the goal. I'm up for any kind of challenge like that, any kind of physical challenge, especially if Saul throws that at me. If he can do it, I can do it. And not only if he can do it, I can do it, but I can do it better.
Hurry up, you slug. Get down here.
Because Larry is late, they set out at night, something that even the most experienced kayaker wouldn't do, especially in winter.
Slide you out. You hit the water, put your weight on the paddle, okay? I'm gonna kick your butt, you know that. Put your weight on the paddle.
It was unnerving setting out at night. People die every year kayaking in the San Juans. But that danger is exciting. It's a thrill. I'm thinking I'm invincible.
We have a winner!
Larry and Saul are paddling off the coast of America's Washington state into the heart of the 176 islands that make up the San Juans. They're crossing a notoriously dangerous stretch of water, the Rosario Strait, on the way to their first destination, Strawberry Island. They need to cross quickly. Soon the tide will turn, making it virtually impossible to land on the far side. Eventually, Larry and Saul reach Strawberry Island, but they're late. The only landing spot is a sandy beach surrounded by dangerous rocks. Now, in the darkness, they face the ferocious tidal currents swirling around the island, giving the area its nickname, the Witch's Cauldron.
We're here. Witch's Cauldron. What? Strawberry Island is dead ahead. Where? Up ahead. Can you hear it? Saul, all I hear is thrashing waves. This is the plan. There is only one beach on this island, only one slot in between the rocks. We can't miss that slot. I'll paddle in first. When I land on the beach, I'll wave my flashlight. That's your signal. We're gonna land on that. Aim for the flashlight and paddle hard. You got it? Larry, you got it! Yeah, aim for the flashlight.
I can see big, jagged rocks that don't look good to land on. It's just really hairy out there.
The flashlight I have, it's just not that bright. I see the rocks in front of me, and all I'm thinking is, oh, shoot.
What? Wait!
I hear him yelling. I can't tell what he's doing. I'm just like, what? What? What are you saying? I can't hear what you're saying.
Do not
Larry sees my headlamp kind of waving around a little bit, and so he's figuring I must be waving him in. I could see him coming in. He's aiming for the flashlight, just like I told him to, and that flashlight's on my head.
The waves are smashing our boats on top of us and on top of the rocks. Very scary situation. Totally caught us off guard. It just happened in a split second.
You okay? What the hell was that? You tell me that! We crashed! We crashed! Get me the hell out of here! They gotta reach those boats. You really need the boats. Yes! We need them! But we're dead! We just get the hell out of here. You don't get it, do you? We're not gonna get out of here! We don't get there! Get out of here! Get out of here!
I'm realizing we're definitely in a survival situation here, and we got to get our stuff up here. We got 4 days worth of food on the boats. Got enough fresh water for maybe 2 or 3 days. Without it, we're screwed.
I thought you said there was a beach here. Yeah, well, I lost the beach. So how do you lose a beach? I misjudged it, okay? I got you.
Just hours into their sea kayaking adventure, Larry and Saul have shipwrecked on a deserted island.
I'm looking forward to getting warm. We could have been killed, but we weren't.
As much as Saul and I both seek out these fun, dangerous, athletic situations, we don't have a death wish. Basically, at this point, I take my dry bag out, and my dry bag is no longer a dry bag. My dry bag is a soaked bag. All my stuff is soaked at this point. Everything.
Larry, what happened? All my stuff is wet. Well, obviously. Did you even seal this properly? This is broken. No, it's not broken. You didn't seal it properly. What the hell is all this? This is all cotton. How could you ever think for a winter trip packing all cotton?
At that point, he was probably a little angry, and for probably good reason. My sleeping bag, all my clothes, all the gear I had, it's all just drenched. His stuff was fine.
Get into this. This is your bed. I have dry clothes. I can sleep in them.
Saul knows that in the cold and the wet, Larry's cotton clothes and his sleeping bag will take days to dry. Larry and Saul's adventure was supposed to last 9 days, but the weather is getting worse and Larry's gear isn't drying. So Saul makes a decision.
I've rapidly realized the trip I planned isn't within our reach. Not for the two of us together. It's not going to work. It just wouldn't be a prudent thing to do.
I just wanted to tell myself, you know, we still have time to have some fun and get this out of our system and use this as a small setback and just keep going.
So we're still going to Doe Bay then?
The trip is over. Your stuff won't dry. One of us will end up hypothermic.
So the crash last night was totally my fault, had nothing to do with you.
Larry, man, we're bagging it.
I agree. Hey, do I get a say in this? Because I agree with you.
Start to pack your stuff up. We're leaving.
The trip is screwed at this point, but he's the boss. He's the leader. Saul is the expedition leader. That's how he always is. He likes being in charge.
Did you seal your dry bag?
Yes, I did, Daddy.
Okay. Boat's in water.
Hey, Saul. I really think I gotta take a number 2.
Yeah, there's a tide window. I'm not missing it.
The Nazi drill instructor was probably more what I'd become.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 4 options, Larry.
4? I don't think I can count that high.
Quit joking. Either you listen to me or you're on your own.
Ooh.
This is Strawberry Island now. This is Washington Park and our trucks. And this is the Rosario Strait between us and home. Option 1. This island back here has a cabin. We knock on their door, ask for help. Option 2. We continue further to Orcas Island here. We stash the boats and take the ferry home. I'll get the boats another day. 3. This is the toughest option. We paddle back the way we came, 3 miles across the Rosario Strait. Now, I can do any of those, so you tell me which one you want to do.
What won out in the very end is the same thing that got us in trouble here. It's the same thing that's got us in trouble in other times. It's our competitive nature. If he can paddle across the channel, I can paddle across the channel. I can swim across it. I can cycle 150 miles if I want to. I can run a marathon. I don't care. He's the same way. But when we get us together, maybe we don't make the best decisions as a team.
The closer they get to the middle of the channel, the more their progress is slowed by wind and waves. And now the powerful tidal current is pushing them dangerously off course.
Larry, this current is gonna suck us out to sea! Do you understand? Saul, I think I'm sinking fast. Jeez, you just I am, okay? I'm trying. We haven't moved 10 feet in the last 10 minutes, man!
I could sense some panic in his voice. He knew that we had a limited amount of time to get across the channel.
We hit a point where when it got really rough, just all our forward progress stopped. I mean, 20 minutes we were roughly halfway, 40 minutes we were roughly halfway, an hour we were roughly halfway.
My boat was completely full of water at that point. My feet were covered, my shins were covered, it was coming up my legs. And that's when I started to get that sense of panic. And I knew, you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. This big wave just cracks down and everything stopped. One moment I'm here in this boat full of water, and a second later I'm outside the boat treading water, just like that.
Less than an hour before dark, Larry is in the middle of the 3-mile-wide Rosario Strait. The tidal current is sweeping him away from land and into open water.
I'm in the water now. Not a fun feeling. Looking down and not seeing my feet, not seeing my shins, not seeing my knees, I'm getting scared at that time. Each minute is just, it's like some critical mass building and building and building, and it's not getting any better. It continues to get worse. It's getting dark, and there's no one here to not only save me or rescue me, but no one knows where the hell I'm even at.
It's been an hour since Larry capsized. Now, a full-scale rescue operation is underway. But without the lights or flares from his kayak, Larry is all but invisible.
I wish I would have grabbed the flashlight I had taped to the bow of my boat, which I didn't do. If I would have grabbed that flashlight, it probably would have been saved in half an hour. I'm looking around, and I can see kind of, boats out there. They're like crisscrossing back and forth.
Help! Help me! Here! Hey!
Not only was I a small person in a very big place, I was also a very vulnerable person in a very, very big place. At that point, I was fully thinking, there's just no chance in hell I'm ever getting out of this water alive.
Exhausted, Larry's body temperature is now so low, his life is in danger. If he doesn't start swimming again to get warm, he'll die.
That's where I made that decision to try to save my own sorry butt. As I'm continuing down, I can see this lighthouse coming off to my right as I'm coming up on it. And it seemed like I'd gotten a little closer to land from where I was at. I was in the middle of the channel when I first started. And I kind of came to this lighthouse, and it looked closer. And I'm thinking, I could maybe get that. I can maybe swim for that.
The tide is sweeping Larry towards the Pacific. But by sheer luck, a side current carries him within striking distance of the last available piece of dry land.
I start swimming, and it's getting closer. And keep swimming, it's getting closer and closer. I'm like, I'm gonna make this. My God, thank you. Thank you, Lord. I come up onto shore, and there's this big rock right there, and I just swim up and put my arms around this rock. This is the most beautiful rock I've seen in my life. That's all I could think of. No one else, nothing else, just lie there and enjoy this rock. This stupid rock that was my buddy at the time. A feeling of relief. Everyone knows what relief is, but if you've ever been in a situation where it's literally life and death, and you feel that you've cheated death that one time, it doesn't get much sweeter than that.
At 11:35 a.m., a rescue helicopter spots Larry and rushes him to the Ana Cortez Hospital ER.
Then the helicopter kind of flies overhead, and the guy there crewing the station just jumps up and says, "God, great news for you." He said, "They picked your friend up and they're taking him to the hospital and he's okay." Man, was I happy. Never seen somebody so happy in his life, like, okay, where's the hospital? Where's the hospital? Where's the hospital?
Nope. The zip's broken. I'm going to have to cut you.
I remember seeing him walk into the room that I was at, and you could tell without him verbalizing his feeling.
Yo, Larry. You okay?
Lift.
Hey, Saul.
I felt good having Saul there, but you don't leave your buddy. It's not correct. It's just not right to leave someone like that.
You must
You left me.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm just glad you're all right.
Yeah, me too.
With who I am, I wanted him not to feel guilty. I wanted him to hopefully be relieved in the fact that I'm okay. Do I hold a grudge against him for doing that? No, I don't.
It's just one of those things, you know, it's like, yeah. The main thing I remember is being so happy to see him. It was like better than any Christmas present is your buddy's still alive.
10 years after their misadventure, Saul and Larry remain friends and have even kayaked together in the San Juan Islands. But they never discuss what happened, nor can they agree if Saul's decision to leave his friend behind was the right thing to do.